All right, here I am at the Southeast Avenue and Main Street railroad crossings here in Deshler, Ohio. So these two railroad crossings right here are a couple of rather neat railroad crossings owned by the CSX Willard Subdivision, which is a very busy CSX line that goes through, like here, the iconic Crossroads Rail Park, as well as Fostoria, Ohio's world-famous Iron Triangle. And I've been here a handful of times, and I haven't really toured any of the crossings yet, so I figured why not start with the more iconic ones with the mechanical bells and stuff. But yeah, like I just said, this crossing does feature some classic elements like mechanical bells and stuff, and I thought I'd tour it for you guys real quick since I did get these crossings in action a handful of times in the past. And I'm going to be doing both Southeast Avenue, well, even though it turns into Northeast Avenue over there, and Main Street in the same video because they're practically right next to each other despite the fact that they don't operate on the same circuits. But yeah, I guess with that said, I'll explain as I go on, so let's get to it. So for the first signal, this has a SafeTran base. And here's the emergency information, the dot number for Southeast Avenue, and the dot number is 142301M. But yeah. And for the gate mechanism for this one, this has a SafeTran gate mechanism, 1990s generation. And this gate features some NEG LED gate lights and a wind guard on the mast. And for the lights on this one, this has I believe, here, let me look at this. So this has a smorgasbord of lights pretty much. So this has 2.5 pairs of Hawker and SafeTran 12 by 24 inch light heads with the Western Cullen Hayes 2nd gen, or I think these are the Leotech EV series, yep, with Leotech EV series LEDs in them, and one Western Cullen Hayes 12 by 24 inch light head with Leotech EV series LED in it. And all of these are sitting on a SafeTran light bracket and light extender arm, as you can see. These lights right here face towards Main Street, which is pretty funny since there's already a crossing there. We do have a train coming, but he is not lined through the diamond because he has a stop for a southbound on the Toledo sub, which is the track that runs across that diamond over there. I'll probably tour a crossing or two on that line, but yeah. So yeah, that's the lights. And for the bell on this one, this has a Western Cullen Hayes mechanical bell, 2nd generation. And I guess one thing worth mentioning for both of these crossings, all the bells ring only when the gates are going down, and they don't ring again after that. Typical CSX wiring, not in Michigan. Geez, that train's getting pretty close. We might have an activation and timeout during this video, but we'll see. But yeah, this bell right here, it rings relatively fast, but here's what it sounds like. Or if I can shake it. Yep, one little ringer-dinger. But yeah. That's the first signal on Southeast Avenue. Now let's go ahead and move on to the second signal. Now this crossing right here has 3 tracks, mainly because, and so does Main Street, mainly because you have the Y right over there. The Southeast Y, I think it's called. But yeah, I guess that said, let's go ahead and move on to the second signal. But actually, let me pause this video and see if this guy is coming through. So be right back. All right, so it looks like he's stopping pretty quickly, so I have time, but Main Street may or may not activate in timeout, but I'll show it in the video if it does. But yeah, so here is the second signal. Yep, there it goes. Main Street is activated. And would you look at that? Southeast Street activated as well. So there you go. You got a sample of what the mechanical bells sound like at Southeast Avenue and Main Street. It's doing a double crossover from that to that Y. So there you have it. So this must be the southbound on the Toledo sub. So I guess here you guys go. I don't normally show trains in my crossing tour videos, but this one's an exception. The line that these two crossings are owned by is very busy. Clearly. Anyways, let's get back into the regular tour. But anyways, now since he's clear, let's go ahead and continue. You can kind of still hear him rounding the Y even. So yeah, here is the second signal of Southeast Avenue. So for this one, this has another SafeTran base with a wire coming out of it that goes somewhere. Oh, as you can see, Main Street has yet to deactivate for some reason. But this has a wire coming out of the bottom of the base going to somewhere. Not sure what it is. Maybe it's like another wire to like the relay case or axis, whatever. And as you can see, Main Street deactivated. But yeah, here's the dot tag once again for Southeast Ave. And for the gate mechanism, this has another Satran gate mechanism, 1990s generation, with the gate featuring some Ricoh LED gate lights and a wind guard. I think this is a mix of Ricoh and NEG LED gate lights, but I'm not sure. Can't really see. It's very, it's a little bright, even though it's cloudy, but my eyes hurt when I look straight up. But yeah. And for the lights on this one, this has 2 more pairs of Hawker and Safetran 12 by 24-inch light heads with Leotech EV series LEDs in them, all sitting on a Safetran light bracket. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but I believe all of these lights used to be incandescent in the past. And I guess they put LEDs in them just to, you know, save energy due to how active this line is. But I'm honestly surprised they kept the mechanical bells here, in which, speaking of, the bell is another Western Cullen Hayes mechanical bell, 2nd generation. Now, you guys just heard a sample of this one. This one rings much faster, and I believe that one rings somewhat fast or somewhat slow. I can't really tell while they're both ringing because I think one overpowers the other in terms of sound. But yeah, there's the other mechanical bell for this crossing for you. So yeah, that right there was the Southeast Avenue Railroad Crossing in Deshler, Ohio. As you can see, here's the full frame. And if you look over there, there's an old Sterling M10 siren over there, which I caught in action just recently. But yeah. So that's the first crossing. Now let's go ahead and move on to Main Street and show you guys what's there. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so here's the Main Street crossing, which pretty much has a very similar setup to Southeast Avenue, only with a few differences. So yeah, here's the first signal on Main Street. So for this one, this has a Safetran base, per the usual. And here's the emergency information for Main Street, and the DOT number is 142299N. And for the gate mechanism on this one, this has another Safetran gate mechanism, 1990s generation, another per se. And this gate features some NEG LED gate lights, no wind guard on this mast. And as you can see, this gate is really, really old. It's very moldy per se, or however you describe that little cracking effect. And I noticed that this gate is old, but it's the horizontal striping, while this gate over there at Southeast Ave is the diagonal. Quite interesting to mention, I guess. But yeah. And for the lights on this one, this has 2 more pairs per se of Safetran and Hawker and Safetran 12 by 24-inch light heads with Leotech EV series LEDs in them, all sitting on a Safetran light bracket. Once again, I think these used to be incandescent in the past. And for a bell, this has another Western Cullen Hayes mechanical bell, 2nd generation. And this one does ring slower than like the rest of the bells, but this one is yet the most overpowering. Like, you can hear this one the best from, like, let's say the Deshler rail cam, which is over there. But yeah. Now I'm gonna go ahead and shake this one just so you guys know what it sounds like. Yeah, there you go. The speed that I shook it at is like around how fast it rings anyway. So that's the first signal of Main Street. Now let's go ahead and tour this little side signal over here that Main Street features, which is kind of interesting. It kind of leads to this, what was I gonna say? This little driveway or alley kind of deal. And there's like a little house over here, which is kind of cool, with an old signal, which begs the question whether if that was the old side signal that used to stand right here. But I'll go ahead and tour that in a second. But here is the next signal on Main Street. So for this one, which is just a side mast, this has a Safetran base, 4-inch with the Louisville, Kentucky lettering. And here's the emergency information for Main Street once again. And for the lights, this has 1 pair of Hawker and Safetran 12 by 24-inch light heads with Leotech EV series LEDs in them, and as well as Western Cullen Hayes visors, which is kind of interesting. And these are sitting on a Safetran light bracket. And this signal has no bell on it. So yeah, there you go. There you guys have it. There's the little side signal. Now let's go ahead and check out what's over here, because these are old like pieces of equipment over here that used to be on this line probably back in the B&O, C&O days or whatever. Like there's an old fire alarm pull station over there, or break glass station. Oh no, it is a pull station. And you got an old iron crossbuck right there. And here is old signal, which I believe used to stand right there. So yeah, this signal right here has a Federal Signal base, as you can see, with a fabricated plate on it. And here's an old CSX dot tag that's on it, which is pretty cool, as well as an inverted stop on red signal sign and 1 pair of Western Cullen Hayes 8-inch lights. Yeah, Safetran light bracket, and no bell, but a finial top. So, yeah. So that was some stuff that I wanted to show on display real quick at, I believe, the Silver Rail, Deshler, Ohio. This might be a railroad museum or something. Has a little Pennzoil sign on it. And yep, this is from like the C&O days. C&O for progress, it says up there, which is kind of cool. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and tour this final signal right here on both of the crossings or on Main Street. And this one has some similarities per se to one of the signals at Southeast Ave, but we'll go ahead and check it out for you. But yeah, here is the fourth or third on Main Street and final signal of this video. So for this signal, this has a SafeTran base. This another SafeTran base per se, 5-inch though. And here's the emergency information once again. And for the gate mechanism, this has another SafeTran gate mechanism, 1990s generation. Well, I'm really liking the 90s elements here. And the gate features some more NEG LED gate lights. No wind guard on the mast though. Whoa, my camera just did a funky thing. Yeah, I'm filming on my phone and this thing doesn't like zooming in and out a lot per se. But yeah. And for the lights, this has 2 more pairs of Hawker and SafeTran 12 by 24-inch light heads with Leotech EV series LEDs in them, all sitting on a SafeTran light bracket. Once again, I think these used to be incandescent in the past. And for a bell, this has another Western Cullen Hayes mechanical bell, 2nd generation. But yeah, if I go ahead and push the signal, you guys get to see or hear what it sounds like. Try not to shake it too much. So this one, the heck? When I shook it, it sounds like a train going over a diamond grade. That's funny. But yeah. But anyways, this bell right here, it just sounds like the one over at Southeast Avenue, the fast one. Same in tone and same speed. Kind of interesting. But yeah, that right there was both Main Street and Southeast Avenue railroad crossings, which is pretty cool. There is to show. Here are the relay cases. That's the one for Main Street right here, and the one for Southeast Avenue is all the way over there. But yeah, and in what I'm standing on, which is kind of cool, is an old sidewalk crossing. They kind of tore it up over there, but it's kind of cool how this also had like a little sidewalk extension right here with crossing grades and everything. But yeah, I guess all this said, let's go ahead and take a look at the track view. Down there is heading west right at the Deshler diamonds right here, where the CSX Willard sub crosses over the CSX Toledo sub, and it heads down towards more crossings such as Kaiser Avenue, in which I'm going to tour here in a moment, and as well as 3 Ys that direct the direction of some Toledo sub to Willard trains or other way around, vice versa. You see a bunch of like old incandescent color light signals showing red at the moment, even though we should have another train here very soon. But yeah, so with that said, and down there is heading east towards another crossing at Water Street. You can kind of see it down there, but yeah, Water Street towards a crossover track and a few more color light signals. There's a big bridge right in front of me, and also the beginning of another Y, which is, like I said, the Southwest Y. I believe that's what it's called. But yeah. And this eventually heads right towards North Baltimore in the North Baltimore Intermodal Yard, as well as Fostoria if you go past that and go a little more ways down. But yeah, that right there is pretty much an overview of what's here right in the middle of town of Deshler. Well, minus the Deshler rail park and where the rail cam is. Quite the iconic spot and great hot spot for CSX per se. But yeah, with that said, this was the Main Street and Southeast Avenue railroad crossings in Deshler, Ohio. These 2 crossings are really neat. Kind of brings back memories of what used to be here on CSX. You know, it's a little remnant. And this crossing tour video turned out to be a lot longer than I thought because I got interrupted by a couple trains probably. That's probably the main reason. And there's just a whole lot of equipment and stuff to go over. But yeah, I guess all that's said for now. Over and out.